The young man executes nothing more than a basic draw slash, yet it leaves the dean at the scene utterly shocked, because this level of skill simply should not belong to a beginner warrior. He sees that just before I swing my blade, I execute the advanced skill flash blink, and more critically, in that instant of contact before the flash, I locate the weakest point on the school bully's entire body and deliver a devastating strike that completely breaks through his defense. The entire sequence takes less than 0.25 seconds, something even the dean, who has battled for 15 years, cannot accomplish. He cannot believe that someone who just awakened with absolutely no combat experience can execute warrior techniques with such masterful perfection. This is a world where magic and demons coexist, where everyone can awaken different professions through the 5 great elements. In my previous life, the Divine Legion that I led was the strongest awakener team in the world. The members were an Le, a lightning assassin, Han Shaolin, a shadow mage, Lu Xian, an astral commander, and myself as a nuclear holy swordsman. There was also one unforgettable traitor. Today marks the 10th year of me leading the team, and this mission is to eliminate the SSS rank demon Lord Belphegor, our 100th high-level demon lair. This mission is designated as an L rank purge mission, and while L rank represents the highest difficulty level, completing it means we can finally take a short vacation. With perfect coordination, we finish off Belphegor with one strike of 10 directions annihilation. However, the team members still want more, surprised at how easily we cleared this demon lair. Lu Xian immediately reminds everyone to stay alert, pointing out that this mission deployed our entire team, so clearing a lair this easily means something's definitely wrong. I naturally agree with Lu Xian's assessment, as intelligence indicated this demon lord was special, possessing all 5 elements plus a hidden skill. At this moment, a pair of delicate hands embrace me from behind, and Enla asks me whether for this vacation, I plan to treat everyone to a feast, or take her out alone. Hearing this, I quickly push her away and decide we should all gather at our usual spot in the holy capital. Then I turn to ask my teammates if that guy hasn't caught up yet. Lu Xian explains that he's cleaning up in the back, mentioning he didn't even fight during the Belphegor battle, though everyone's used to it since that guy's always dragging his feet and slacking off more than anyone. Just then, Han Shaolin's head suddenly gets pierced through, dying on the spot without even managing a scream. This sudden turn of events catches everyone present completely off guard. I'm about to turn around when I discover my body can no longer move. Then that familiar voice sounds in my ear, revealing he has been mixing paralyzing powder into our breakfast for the past month. As soon as he finishes speaking, the divine skill Forbidden Flower Vines activates, and the vines instantly bind us tightly. The dreadlocked man who claimed to be cleaning up finally reveals himself, stating that to kill the strongest warriors like us, he had to make complete preparations. This is divine will, as the L rank purge mission means purging all of you. Bound and stripped of all defenses, we're like lambs to the slaughter, completely helpless. At this moment, the vines shoot toward an Ellie and the others at incredible speed, and as their captain, I can only watch helplessly. As the vines pierce through their chests, I demand furiously why he's eliminating us, as the Divine Legion has never crossed any boundaries. Whose divine will this is, and what gives them the right to do this to us? Hearing this, the dreadlocked man laughs coldly, mocking how naive I remain, asking if gods need reasons to want me dead. The moment he finishes speaking, he charges at incredible speed, and his arm instantly pierces through my chest. Before dying, my eyes fill with confusion as I wonder if we weren't comrades, if after over 10 years together, we weren't already like family. Hearing this, the dreadlocked man's mouth curls into a sinister smile, questioning if I still don't understand why he's the one doing this. From the very first day we met, the gods were already laying out this game, and you've always been nothing but pieces to be manipulated, to gain your trust. He's been acting alongside us for so long, and he finds it utterly disgusting. As soon as he finishes, a gunshot rings out inside the demon lair, and except for the dreadlocked man, every member of the Divine Legion dies. I feel such deep regret knowing that if only I had discovered this earlier, I could have changed this tragic ending. Then a voice sounds in my mind, proposing we make a deal. The moment it speaks, I find myself in complete darkness, my body bound in chains. Next, a man in a suit appears before me, and seeing the 5 elements circling his body, I recognize him as Belphegor. But why isn't he dead? Belphegor laughs and explains that a SSS rank demon lord couldn't possibly be that weak, revealing this is his soul space, and that the entire Nanoha kingdom is his true life. He can sense that like him, I'm now filled with hatred, so he wants to make a deal with me, explaining his hidden skill is called life regression, which can send me back to the distant past and give me a chance to salvage and change everything. So, Bai Yi, do you want to start over? I recall all the moments spent with my companions over the past 10 years, and how could I not want to see their smiles again? The culprit behind all of this is that traitor, whose betrayal led to our deaths. I tell Belphegor I want to start over, that I will personally kill that traitor, along with those lofty gods. This answer greatly satisfies Belphegor, who immediately pulls a blazing heart from his chest, surrounded by the 5 elements, declaring it a welcoming gift. I don't accept it right away, asking why he wants to make this deal and what the price is. Belphegor doesn't answer, merely showing a meaningful smile. When I open my eyes again, I see my middle school homeroom teacher, Teacher Huang. Bai Yi, get up right now! It's one thing to fool around during regular classes, but you dare sleep when you're about to undergo your profession awakening this afternoon? Get to the back and stand there. Looking at my young hands, my eyes fill with shock, unable to believe I've actually returned to my middle school days. Belphegor's ability is truly incredible, as it really did send me back to the past. As I marvel at this, Teacher Huang taps the podium, telling everyone to pay attention. This world has 5 elemental powers in total: lightning, flower, cloud, nuclear, and astral. Each person can only contain one element. Teacher Zhang possesses the rarest cloud element. Based on how elemental power combines with each person's body, professions fall into 3 categories: combat, functional, and special. Because the 5 elemental powers combine with different orientations, they create many different professions. I know that standing out among hundreds of millions as potential awakeners, you're already far superior to others, surrounded by flowers and applause since childhood. But today is your most important day. There are nearly 100 known awakened professions, divided from lowest to highest into 4 qualities: green, blue, red, and gold. Each person only gets one chance to awaken their profession. So the moment your profession is determined this afternoon will decide your future position in this world. After class, I walk around the campus looking around, when suddenly my friend Glasses Guy falls beside me. The one who pushed him down is none other than school bully Hong Chang-sheng, who sneers at a bunch of trash who need external help to awaken, daring to stand in his way. Do they think there's something special just because they're about to awaken? In front of a red quality profession awakener like him, they'll always be weaklings. Under this pressure, Glasses Guy quickly takes out his allowance, begging Hong Chang-sheng to let him go. In my previous life, I remember Hong Chang-sheng frequently getting into conflicts with classmates, as he seems to carry some aggressive genes, enjoying causing trouble for no reason. At this moment, Teacher Huang walks over, sternly warning Hong Chang-sheng that this is a school and asking if he intends to ignore school rules. Hong Chang-sheng shows complete disdain, claiming Glasses Guy bumped into him while walking. So isn't it appropriate to compensate each of his brothers with a milk tea? Then he leans close to Teacher Huang's ear, whispering that if not for her looks, she would have been kicked out of this school long ago for trying to stand up for students. Hearing this, Teacher Huang remains unfazed, stepping forward to help Glasses Guy up and asking if he's injured anywhere. My impression of Teacher Huang runs deep, as she's the type with a sharp tongue but a soft heart, having helped me considerably after my awakening back then. At this moment, the teacher from the neighboring class waves this way, reminding us it's our class's turn to enter the awakening chamber. Teacher Huang immediately gathers the students, reminding them to stay as rational as possible during awakening to avoid injury. I remember awakening in this world falls into 2 categories, one being natural awakening like Hong Chang-sheng's, which typically occurs in those with naturally strong physiques and talent, awakening spontaneously during moments of extreme emotion. The other is through the awakening chamber, where after entering, emotions and adrenaline become intensely catalyzed, thereby triggering awakening in potential candidates. But because each person can only awaken once and it's random, awakening and profession assignment is seen as life's only chance to restart one's destiny. When it's my turn to enter the awakening chamber, Teacher Huang sternly reminds me to focus completely. I nod slightly, stating I know what I'm doing. In my previous life, I awakened as an E-rank nuclear warrior, a mediocre green quality profession, which led to considerable bullying, only awakening the rarest type later when advancing to S rank. Now I should still have the nuclear element within me, though I don't know what profession I'll awaken this time. Unexpectedly, a mechanical voice suddenly sounds in my ear, announcing an awakening system detection error, detecting 5 elements, and activating the infinite awakening system. Because I possess all 5 elemental systems, I can choose to activate any element and any profession as my initial profession. Afterward, when a certain element accumulates sufficiently, I can choose to gain a new random profession of that element or upgrade an existing profession. After hearing the system explanation, I'm completely stunned, realizing I can not only choose my current awakening element and profession, but also gain other new professions later. I have the opportunity to obtain professions of all qualities, even those of special quality. The system immediately clarifies that only the initial profession can be chosen, with subsequent professions being randomly obtained. At this moment, I recall the heart Belphegor gave me, never expecting this welcoming gift to be so precious, granting me the ability of infinite awakening. The system then prompts that once the initial profession is chosen, all element bars will be cleared. A faint smile appears on my lips, as I've already made my choice. When I slowly emerge from the awakening chamber, Teacher Huang hurries over, asking what profession I awakened. I sigh helplessly, apologizing that I'm going to disappoint her, as I awakened as a nuclear warrior, the worst green quality. Hearing this, Teacher Huang's expression immediately darkens, but she still encourages me not to give up, noting that even green quality has produced many extraordinary talents. But I don't need her comfort at all, as I can't even imagine how strong I'll become in the future. At this moment, Hong Chang-sheng walks over with loud mockery, noting that Teacher Huang is quite capable, yet speaks such useless hollow motivational talk. Green quality represents the absolute bottom tier, and that's how this world works, as the gods choose people, selecting only the strong while the weak can only be humiliated. At these words, killing intent immediately surges in my eyes, as my death in the previous life was connected to those gods. Then Hong Chang-sheng addresses Teacher Huang again, asking if she knows that green professions can only sit in the back row for classes from now on. That's how society works, as those without strength, connections, or future are forever abandoned by fairness in the back row. The strong gain better resources and grow stronger, while green weaklings are destined from the moment of awakening to become mere laborers at the bottom of awakener society. All that nonsense about changing your life through hard work or green quality becoming genius, does she even believe it herself? Just like everyone's birth, your future life is already decided. Our awakener school is merely a microcosm. And he recalls, Teacher Huang has a blue profession, so she should just stay at school as a teaching government employee. And as for that kid with green quality, he should go home early and stop wasting resources. As soon as he finishes, I casually crush a cup, spraying his face with a drink, telling this animal to shut his mouth, as his breath truly stinks. Hearing this, Hong Changsheng flashes a sinister smile, then swings his astral thorn hammer at me with full force. The next second, a longsword materializes in my hand and easily blocks it. Then I activate the warrior skill parry, and Hong Changsheng instantly flies backward like a kite with a broken string, a mouthful of blood spurting from his mouth. Everyone watching stands dumbfounded, never expecting I could send a red quality profession flying. Refusing to accept defeat, Hong Changsheng immediately stands up, insisting I merely got lucky and dodged his attack. But Teacher Huang, who witnessed the entire process, can confirm it definitely was not luck. She recognizes I used parry, the warrior profession's exclusive top-tier technique, which blocks damage at the instant of receiving maximum attack and within 0.09 seconds beyond the limit of reaction, reflects the physical damage back to the opponent, a move that even 10 years of hard training might not perfect. At this thought, Teacher Huang's expression grows increasingly shocked, wondering how a student on his first day of awakening with absolutely no combat experience could possibly accomplish this. At this moment, Hong Changsheng summons his blade, determined to beat me until I question my existence and crawl out of school. But he has no idea I made preparations before choosing this seemingly weakest profession. Determining a person's future and fate from birth is a grave mistake they will only realize years later. I chose nuclear warrior because after advancement, this profession gains a unique quality surpassing other professions and extremely powerful skills. Seeing the atmosphere growing increasingly tense, the watching students all worry for me, as using awakened powers for private fights is strictly forbidden at school. Hong Changsheng's father is a high-ranking official and his uncle is the school dean, while I'm dirt poor with no connections. So if I take the bait and fight here, I could be expelled. Seeing this, Teacher Huang quickly urges us not to be impulsive, suggesting we might become battle companions in the future. Hong Changsheng immediately refuses angrily, pointing out this guy just openly provoked him, so how can she ask him to stop now? Even if he kneels and begs for mercy now, it's useless, as he wants to show the insurmountable gap between the chosen and the losers. Hearing this, Teacher Huang realizes the trouble, as the vast quality differences lie in different attribute bonuses. Green quality has a 100% attribute bonus, meaning unchanged. Blue quality of the same profession has a 150% bonus, while red quality boasts an astounding 200%. At the moment of awakening, all attributes of red professions are double those of green, a power gap that can never be crossed. My friend Glasses Guy also thinks I'm doomed, as I'm completely outmatched in both actual strength and background. Why provoke someone more powerful for no reason? Such garbage people are indeed detestable. But to survive in this world, one must learn to avoid garbage. And when avoidance is impossible, one must learn to swallow humiliation, as knowing when to bend ensures survival, while direct confrontation is the most foolish choice that only brings greater humiliation. At this moment, Hong Changsheng activates his skill Violent Charge and rushes at me, but I remain completely calm, standing still, because I never intended to dodge. The skill's swift movement instantly activates, drastically increasing speed by over 50% in a short period, and my figure appears behind him in a flash like lightning. Hong Changsheng doesn't understand how I did it. Then a large amount of blood spurts from his mouth, and he finally collapses to his knees, coughing violently from exhaustion. This battle ends far too quickly, as even Teacher Huang couldn't see clearly what actually happened. But Class President Chi Yin shows an intriguing expression, as she saw me activate the warrior profession's exclusive swift movement skill once again the instant Hong Changsheng attacked, specifically the advanced form, Flash Blink. However, how I so easily defeated the opponent in that instant, even she couldn't see clearly, but she can confirm that I not only mastered the highest level applications of basic warrior skills, but can also apply them seamlessly in actual combat. In that brief instant, I even took care not to violate school prohibitions in public. At this moment, the system prompts that I gained 50 profession experience points, and for severely injuring an E-rank astral element opponent, I gained 50 astral element points, confirming my theory that using professions in combat accumulates profession experience and defeating opponents of certain elements grants element points. However, 50 points is too little, so I need to clear some demon lairs quickly and level up and advance faster than before. At this moment, Hong Changsheng stands up trembling, grabbing his blade to ambush me from behind, but the next second a steady voice stops him, and the person stopping him is middle school Dean Hong Liang. He tells the watching students to stop spectating and go home early to rest, and properly report their awakened professions to their families. The word home strikes me like lightning, and I don't even notice Hong Liang has walked up to me, because I suddenly recall something extremely important, as if I've returned to 20 years ago. They're all still alive now, and something else happened on awakening day, something I've been unable to let go of until now. At this thought, I leave school at top speed. Hong Liang becomes furious at being ignored, turning to scold Teacher Huang to manage her students properly and treat today as if nothing happened. Moments later, Hong Liang brings his nephew to the office, and Hong Changsheng's eyes fill with resentment, insisting he couldn't possibly have lost if that guy hadn't gotten lucky. As soon as he finishes, Hong Liang suddenly slams the table and tells him to shut up, asking if he knows what that kid did. The instant he charged forward, the kid executed the advanced skill flash blink, but more critically, before the flash, in just that instant before contact, he found the weakest point on his entire body and delivered a devastating strike that completely broke through his defense. This entire sequence used only basic warrior skills, but even after 15 years of bloody battles, Hong Liang himself might not execute them so skillfully. Their battle was like a professional player using basic moves to toy with a max-level elementary student. Utterly absurd, as this kid is far from simple. Meanwhile, I'm running home at full speed. If there's anything I must do after being reborn besides seeking revenge, it's to prevent the tragedy about to unfold, even if it costs me my life. Arriving home, I see Mom preparing dinner, and seeing Mom again after 20 years, tears well up uncontrollably in my eyes. Feeling grateful that Mom is still alive. Seeing me return, Mom keeps gesturing with her hands in front of me, and because Mom cannot speak, she tells me through sign language that she made my favorite spicy and sour noodles today. I hold back tears, showing a smile and saying I want to eat fish with pickled vegetables today. Mom gestures that we can have it tomorrow, as she already made many delicious things today. I immediately shake my head, insisting I really want fish today and asking Mom to go buy it now. Unable to persuade me otherwise, she gestures in sign language that she'll go right away. But just as I'm about to go out with her, Father, sitting in the living room watching TV, suddenly speaks up saying Mom can go alone. He then asks why I came home without greeting him. Isn't today the awakening day? He tells me to share the good news. With that, Father takes 2 bottles of beer from the fridge, saying he finished work early specifically to come home and celebrate with me. At this, my face shows no smile, and I lie that I haven't awakened yet today, claiming the awakening process took too long and ended before my turn. Hearing this, Father's expression suddenly darkens, demanding to know why I came home so early then. Back in his day, despite having nothing, he still awakened a red profession, so his son should be at least red quality. Now working so hard to earn money for my education, he's invested everything in me. He sternly demands to know exactly what profession I awakened. In an instant, terrifying killing intent engulfs me, but I still maintain I haven't awakened yet. The next second, a beer bottle smashes heavily on my head, and Father's eyes turn extremely fierce, realizing I'm only green quality. He demands what I've been pretending to study seriously for at school, awakening a worthless green profession and making him lose face. With that, he kicks directly at my face, a situation I expected, as in my previous life when he learned I was a green awakener. Feeling humiliated, he resorted to violence at home. To protect me, Mom once again stood in front of me, as she always did. But back then, I was too weak and too afraid, and this beast beat Mom for a full hour to vent his rage. That day, Mom's leg was broken, and due to severe head trauma, she became mentally confused from then on. I hated my own weakness and my inability to protect Mom. Living again, I cannot let this tragedy repeat. Although Nuclear Warrior possesses unique qualities other professions lack, it still requires time. Having just awakened, I'm at the lowest E rank, while Bai Ling Sheng is C rank red quality, completely different from Hong Xiangsheng at school, as he has ample real combat experience. So even if I were gold quality now, I couldn't defeat him. He came home early today specifically to wait for me and won't rest until he gets his answer. So I absolutely cannot let Mom stay here, which is why I sent Mom out to buy groceries. Unexpectedly, the sound of bags dropping suddenly comes from the doorway, and Mom has already returned home. My eyes fill with shock, unable to understand how Mom returned so quickly. It turns out Mom worried I'd be hungry, so she rushed home immediately after buying groceries, never expecting to return home to witness this scene. Seeing Mom return, Bai Lingsheng immediately turns on her, asking what kind of waste she gave birth to. At this moment, memories from my previous life flood my mind, recalling someone asking if I was the first green profession to advance, as normally professions must be at least blue and reach A rank to enter the advancement stage. So why did I advance so early? And moreover, transform directly from green to the 1 in a million platinum quality? At this point, my master asked why I was brought here, as this place is reserved for death row inmates. I said in a heavy voice that the beast deserved to die, asking how he could beat my mother to death like that. At this thought, my gaze becomes utterly resolute, and I swing a heavy punch at Bai Lingsheng with all my might. But against absolute strength, my attack holds no threat whatsoever, because skilled awakeners are far stronger than ordinary people even without using skills, and others simply cannot withstand such blows. But at this point, I must stand up and protect Mom. Unexpectedly, Mom suddenly falls in front of me, shaking her head repeatedly, hoping Bai Lingsheng will stop. Seeing this, Bai Lingsheng sighs and closes the door, saying that when he learned Ruyun was pregnant with a son, he was truly happy that day, thinking the chance for the Bai family to rise had finally come. Those two bastards can't produce sons, but I, Bai Lingsheng, can. So the Bai family can only rely on me to bring glory to our ancestors, but why? Did he awaken the most worthless green profession? A piece of trash that can't even advance? It's all because of your garbage genes. Seeing Mom about to be struck by the stool, in desperation, I immediately activate the skill flash blink and summon my longsword to force Bai Lingsheng back, sternly warning this beast not to approach Mom. Bai Lingsheng looks at his torn clothes and laughs coldly, his aura growing increasingly chilling, never expecting I would dare to fight back. I grip my longsword tightly and stay focused, knowing I must find a way to hold out until reinforcements arrive. Just then, Bai Lingsheng charges at me with incredible speed, and seeing this, I quickly activate parry, attempting to reflect all the damage back, but unexpectedly, the longsword in my hand suddenly shatters, and a solid punch smashes into my abdomen. The gap in attributes is simply too vast, as a single strike completely breaks through my defense. But Bai Lingsheng's assault doesn't stop there, as he even activates the skill Thunderous Black Lightning, adding electrical damage to all his attacks. I quickly raise my hands to protect my head, preventing nerve damage and loss of consciousness. In an instant, heavy punches rain down on me like a storm. Seeing me still struggling to endure, Bai Lingsheng finds it laughable, stating that such weak professions deserve to be humiliated by the strong. He casually picks up the stool beside him, preparing to smash it down on Mom and me with full force. Just then, urgent knocking suddenly sounds from outside the door. Seeing this, my lips curl slightly upward, as reinforcements have finally arrived. In a rage, Bai Lingsheng opens the door with a displeased expression, revealing 2 guard team members standing at the entrance, with Vice Captain Li Ang's expression stern as he questions what took so long to answer the door. The arrival of the inspection team leaves Bai Lingsheng completely puzzled, and he asks the Vice Captain in a mild tone why they came here. It turns out 18 minutes ago, before going upstairs, I called the guard team, reporting that the wanted criminal Snow was suspected to be in my residential area, knowing they would definitely mobilize to investigate, giving me the opportunity to send Bai Lingsheng to prison. At this moment, Liang takes out the wanted notice, explaining they received a report that wanted criminal Snow appeared near this building and are now conducting door-to-door searches, asking if he noticed any suspicious individuals. Hearing this, Bai Lingsheng laughs and says he hasn't seen anyone. However, Liang notices Mom and me behind him, asking what happened to his child and why he's covered in injuries. Hearing this, Bai Lingsheng lies, claiming I accidentally fell and got hurt. I immediately explained that the injuries on my body came from his beatings, detailing that my arm was hit with a stool, my head with a beer bottle, this area with fists and that area with kicks, and that all my injuries can undergo immediate forensic examination. According to Chapter 8, Article 4 of the Awakener Management Regulations in the Divine Code, for awakeners who cannot control their violent behavior and wantonly harm others, if the perpetrator poses potential danger, immediate detention in awakener prison for 15 days is required. These words utterly shocked the 2 guards, never expecting someone my age to know the law so well. Bai Lingsheng never imagined I would dare expose him, and burning with fury, he's about to kill me on the spot when Chen Jinwu quickly restrains him, and Li Ang immediately announces a lawful arrest, warning that any resistance will result in control measures. After Bai Lingsheng is taken away, the house suddenly becomes incredibly quiet. Then Mom rushes over and holds me tightly, her crying echoing in my ears. I feel grateful that this time I protected Mom, as 15 days will be enough time for me to become stronger, and I absolutely will not let Mom suffer any bullying again. The beating I took wasn't for nothing. I managed to lift the safe key from him. That item he betrayed his teammates to obtain years ago allowed him to climb from the bottom of E rank all the way to C rank. I then made my way to his room. Opening the nightstand revealed a safe inside. He had kept this hidden from his family all along. In my previous life, I only learned of its existence after his death. With this blade in hand, I can attempt to solo a dungeon. Meanwhile, at the Inspector Squad detention room, Bai Lingsheng pleads with Liang for leniency, promising he will never cause trouble again. But Liang has no interest in dealing with such scum. Bai Lingsheng continues with a smile. I heard your wife is about to give birth, Deputy. My good friend runs the best maternity center in Chuxi County. Before he can finish, Liang sternly warns him that bribing the Inspector Squad carries consequences far beyond detention. He should rest up and prepare to report to Awakener prison tomorrow. At this, Bai Lingsheng flies into a rage, vowing to tear me apart once he gets out. Bai Lingsheng will be released in 15 days. Before then, I must grow stronger as quickly as possible. Dungeons are my only option right now. However, all dungeons now fall under divine control. Only guild members can enter them. The only dungeons I can access are those managed by the school and the hidden dungeons I knew about in my previous life. Dungeons can appear anywhere. They exist as parallel spaces to our world, accessed through gates that materialize out of thin air. Once discovered, most dungeons become occupied by guild stations. Dungeons contain abundant magical beasts and mineral resources. They are the ideal place for awakeners to advance their abilities. However, dungeons are extremely dangerous and typically require official assessment before team entry. In news reports from 5 years into my previous life, this particular dungeon had remained undiscovered for so long that it was only found after a demon invasion incident. Typically, an F-rank dungeon requires 3 E-rank awakeners. An E-rank dungeon requires a 5-person team with 3 E-rank and 2 D-rank awakeners. Based on the current timeline, this dungeon has a 90% chance of being F-rank. It is also the lowest level hidden dungeon I can access right now. While dungeons are extremely perilous and require balanced elemental teams to improve survival odds, I have no other choice. I must grow stronger on my own as quickly as possible. Upon entering the dungeon, a vast frozen wasteland stretches before me. This is likely the domain of cloud element beasts. Not far far away, a massive white bear sleeps soundly. Human bones scatter around it, clear evidence that others came here but never left. I recognize this white bear as a level 18 glacial bear, which means this hidden dungeon is E rank. At that moment, a shadow flashes behind me. A level E2 bloodthirsty forest wolf lunges toward me. Fortunately, my reflexes are sharp. I leap aside and easily evade. Then I surge forward with explosive leg power, launching a counterattack. A single slash cuts the bloodthirsty forest wolf in half. The Kunwu blade lives up to its A rank reputation, unavailable on the market. Its attributes perfectly compensate for my current power gaps. However, against beasts with high defense, even striking vital points requires 3 or 4 strikes. I cannot help but miss my days at L rank. Advancing 1 level as an E rank requires killing roughly 20 wolves. Reaching D rank from E requires gaining 10 levels. At that moment, dozens of bloodthirsty forest wolves advance toward me. Among them prowls a level 14 bloodthirsty wolf king. The scent of blood must have drawn them here. I can see they intend to surround and overwhelm me, so I immediately leap into action. I launch an offensive toward the weakest point in their formation. These low-level bloodthirsty forest wolves pose little threat to me. However, their sheer numbers demand swift elimination. Every strike must hit a vital point. Drawing on combat experience accumulated in my previous life, and my exceptional mastery of basic warrior skills, I eliminate the low-level bloodthirsty forest wolves in mere moments. Now only the wolf king before me remains. I immediately unleash my full power and charge forward. Countless blade strikes flash around its body. The system notification sounds in my ear. Successfully eliminated. I also obtain the material Snow Wolf Diamond. My level smoothly advances to E2, granting 12 attribute points for free allocation. I close the notification window, breathing heavily. Killing just 20 wolves has exhausted me this much. E-rank stamina is truly inadequate. I need to obtain a dimensional backpack somehow, or I will have to abandon many dropped items. Most dungeons are monopolized by the guild, making advancement extremely difficult for outside awakeners. To gain access to higher level dungeons, joining the Divine Guild is the only option. Awakener schools serve as talent pools under guild management. Most students dream of becoming outstanding graduates selected by the guild. However, expulsion from a team often means never advancing again. That scumbag Bai Ling Sheng remained permanently at C rank after his expulsion from the guild. By comparison, my advancement speed is not particularly fast. The extreme cold here drains stamina increasingly over time. I must use the fastest method available. With this thought, I turn and run. Along the way, I continuously slash through trees with my blade. The commotion attracts the attention of countless beasts. Moments later, various beasts completely surround me. Then a violent explosion erupts from a cliff face. I nod slightly at this. The disturbance is sufficient to wake all the monsters. That creature should be awake now. At that moment, a massive claw descends, crushing a bloodthirsty forest wolf. The newly awakened glacial bear arrives. Its enormous size creates an overwhelming visual impact. In its enraged state, the glacial bear attacks indiscriminately. What I need to do is evade while collecting the spoils. System notifications continuously echo in my ears. E-rank beasts may be fierce, but they generally lack intelligence. This bear not only draws aggression, but also conserves most of my stamina. However, for the experience to count toward me, I must deliver the final blow. Even with the glacial bear's assistance, my stamina is running low. Many beasts still remain in the area. It is time to proceed to the next phase. The beasts surge toward me like ocean waves. They remain oblivious to the countless ice spikes buried beneath their feet. I immediately thrust my blade hard into the ground. The surface instantly fractures and begins collapsing. Throughout the battle, I have been observing the surrounding terrain. This is not a frozen lake, but an ice bridge spanning 2 canyons. In an instant, most beasts plummet into the bottomless chasm. My level instantly reaches 7, and I gain the title 1 against 100. All stats increase by 10% when facing multiple enemies. My remaining stamina is sufficient to handle the surviving beasts. However, a question has been troubling me. Every dungeon contains a boss. The E-rank dungeon lord should be something like a level E10 brutal lion king. The commotion should have awakened it by now. Why has it not appeared? At that moment, terrifying cloud element magic suddenly surges forth. Things take a turn for the worse. I have fallen into a trap. The lord was not asleep, but waiting for an opportunity, waiting until our stamina was nearly depleted, before arriving here to reap the benefits. This ice bridge is a trap it created. I desperately flee the spell's range. However, the terrain constraints quickly result in me being frozen. I never expected that within this low-level dungeon, an intelligent boss would be lurking. At this moment, the level D11 cloud element demon mage Lord of Azure Forest appears. 2 level E10 Azure Forest demon apes serve as its lieutenants. My mind races, searching for a way to break this deadly situation. The Lord of Azure Forest slowly raises its hand and points. The Azure Forest demon apes instantly attack. In the nick of time, I suddenly break free from the ice and use the skill parry to reflect all damage back. In that instant, I channeled all my energy to shatter the ice, which consumed tremendous stamina. If the Lord of Azure Forest intends to launch another powerful spell attack, it will require time. I must eliminate it before then. But at that moment, the Lord of Azure Forest suddenly raises its left hand. As it clenches its fist, the previously enraged glacial bear instantly calms. Its fierce gaze locks onto me. Things take a severe turn for the worse. Nuclear element is inherently countered by cloud element. Combined with my current stamina barely sufficient to defeat those 2 apes, I cannot possibly handle such a large number of beasts. At this moment, an Azure Forest demon ape flashes forward to attack. Merely blocking its attack clearly exhausts my stamina. In this desperate situation, finding an opportunity to kill the boss is impossible. Even basic survival cannot be guaranteed. The Lord of Azure Forest raises its staff with a sinister smile. The skill Ice Storm Assault activates instantly, surging toward me. I am stunned by this development, unable to comprehend why its skill cooldown is so rapid. However, I quickly regain my composure. In my previous life's experiences, I frequently faced various predicaments. Through these repeated crises, I developed a keen sense for opportunities. Currently, I have only two options. Option 1 is to remain here and continue fighting. However, my stamina has reached its limit. Survival probability is 0. Therefore, only option 2 can break through this deadly predicament. With this realization, I jump off the cliff without hesitation. This maneuver leaves even the Lord of Azure Forest stunned. It never expected me to choose death by cliff. Meanwhile, Mom enters the room intending to wake me for a meal. However, she discovers the bed empty, with only a note remaining. I told Mom I went to a friend's house and will return later, but Mom immediately senses something wrong. If I were going to a friend's house, I would certainly tell her. Moreover, since arriving home yesterday, she has noticed I seem like a completely different person. This gives her an uneasy feeling. On the other side, after jumping off the cliff, I struggled to swim to the riverbank. When the ice bridge collapsed, nearly 100 beasts fell. Yet, I only gained 3 levels, indicating that 40 beasts survived. Therefore, a river must exist at the bottom of the cliff. Option 2 is my only chance at survival. However, breaking through the ice again nearly exhausts all my stamina. Combined with the impact from such a high fall into the river, the damage to my body is severe. I am nearing my absolute limit. The scene before me gradually blurs. Worse still, I have not completely escaped danger. An E-rank glacial overlord lurks at the cliff bottom. Memories flash through my mind like a slideshow. Moments from my previous life with my teammates, and scenes of Mom's meticulous care for me. Having them in my life, I could die without regrets. Yet recalling the Lord of Azure Forest's triumphant smile, Bai Ling Sheng's contemptuous gaze, and the traitor's sinister smirk, I refuse to let my journey end here. Any regrets from my previous life, I will absolutely never allow to repeat. I have lost once, I have died once, I will not die again. With this determination, I forcefully break the glacial overlord's fangs through sheer strength. Then a whip kick sends it flying. At this moment, wisps of golden smoke emanate from my body. This is the characteristic sign of profession advancement triggered only in desperate situations. Choosing to solo the dungeon, actively attracting beasts, jumping off the cliff, continuously throwing myself into desperate situations was all to recapture that feeling. In my previous life, when I killed Bai Ling Sheng with my own hands, the surge of adrenaline triggered my advancement. Now, I seek to reclaim that sensation. The system notification echoes in my ear. Due to insufficient conditions, profession advancement has failed. Nuclear Holy Swordsman advanced skill acquired. My eyes flash. Although insufficient for profession advancement, I have unexpectedly acquired this ultimate skill early. Now it is time to clear the obstacles before me. At that moment, the glacial overlord roars and lunges toward me. Behind it, beasts surge forward like a tsunami. I steady myself and swing my blade forcefully. The formed energy blade instantly eliminates the attacking beasts. Even the E-rank glacial overlord is cut in half. This technique is the ultimate skill: Pure Land, fatigue removal, instant stamina recovery. My level instantly reaches E8. I also gain the title Tundra Wanderer. Cloud element creature resistance increased by 100%. Frost damage reduced. Now it is time to return and deal with the Lord of Azure Forest. Along the way, I continuously kill bloodthirsty forest wolves for experience. Reaching E-rank makes eliminating E-rank beasts remarkably effortless. I barely feel the cold now. Pure Land stores all accumulated damage and releases it against multiple targets at once, but can only activate after sufficient fatigue and damage accumulation. Thanks to it, my stamina has fully recovered. I have no idea how long I have been in this dungeon. I must hurry back. Otherwise, Mom will worry. Meanwhile, the Lord of Azure Forest rests inside a small shelter, waiting for new challengers to arrive. Azure Forest demon apes hang on both sides. The Lord of Azure Forest opens its eyes, sensing a familiar aura. The next second, the roof is suddenly blasted open. The glacial bear's corpse drops inside. I look at the Lord of Azure Forest with disdain. I need to eliminate it as quickly as possible and return home for dinner. The Lord of Azure Forest responds with a sinister smile and points at me. The Azure Forest demon ape immediately flashes forward with a fierce assault. However, its movements appear extremely slow to me. I raise my blade and effortlessly block the incoming stone hammer. Then with a backhand strike, I kill it on the spot. This swift counterattack greatly shocks the Lord of Azure Forest. No longer daring to be careless, it immediately waves its staff. The skill Ice Storm Assault activates instantly. Countless basketball-sized hailstones rain down toward me. However, having gained the Tundra Wanderer title, I possess exceptionally high cloud element resistance. I ignore the attack completely and charge forward with my blade. In this critical moment, the Lord of Azure Forest glances at a sack beside it. It pulls out a staff radiating dense magical power. Simultaneously, it commands all Azure Forest demon apes to shield it. Such defenses mages cannot possibly stop me now. The skill Flash Blink activates immediately, allowing me to pass through all obstacles ahead. I then raise my blade and sever the Lord of Azure Forest's arm. However, my assault does not stop there. Universe Sun Moon Slash strikes with tremendous force. Countless blade flashes land upon its body. The notification sounds, successfully eliminated. I advance to D-rank Nuclear Warrior. After a series of tones, the system announces, Cloud Element Accumulation Sufficient. New Profession Awakening imminent. My eyes flash at this. I have been fighting continuously and forgot about this. I wonder which Cloud Element profession will awaken. What I never expected is awakening a red quality Cloud Mage with the ability to switch professions freely. Although only E-rank, the red quality provides a 200% bonus, making its strength comparable to my current D-rank warrior. I look down. The Lord of Azure Forest dropped a D-rank mage weapon called Demon Stone and a D-rank magic pouch that holds 20 items. I casually pick up the items, a hint of killing intent flashing in my eyes. I immediately switch to Cloud Mage mode. The remaining small fries provide a perfect opportunity to test the mage's capabilities. Meanwhile, Mom sits on the sofa, unable to sleep all night. Not having seen me for a full day, her expression appears deeply troubled. She worries terribly that something might have happened to me. At this moment, I push open the door and enter. Mom, I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. Seeing me return home, Mom immediately stands up. She rushes over and embraces me tightly. Her worries dissipate as tears well up in her eyes. I notice the cold food on the table. Mom has been waiting for me all this time without eating a single bite. As her son, I feel ashamed. I decide to move away from here with Mom and start a new life in a different environment. Using this magic pouch, I brought out more than a dozen valuable items besides the essential weapons. I then contacted a broker intending to sell everything. The broker glances at the crimson minerals in hand, nods with satisfaction, and offers to purchase everything for 800. Hearing this price, I immediately take back the wooden box and state bluntly that it is 8,000 per piece. If he refuses, I leave. After some negotiation, I ultimately sell all minerals for 7,000 each. With this money, I can rent Mom a very nice place. That afternoon, I take her to view apartments. In my previous life, she never had a single good day. In this life, I only want her to enjoy herself. I can tell Mom really likes this apartment, so I rent it for 15,000 per month. That very evening, we move in. It has been so long since I have seen such a relaxed smile on her face. Now that the housing matter is resolved, I have advanced to D rank and gained a new profession. However, Bai Ling Shang will be released soon. I cannot let my guard down. Until this matter is completely resolved, I cannot pursue revenge without concerns. While contemplating, I craft the Demon Stone into a bracelet that expands magical range by 50%. Tomorrow when I return to school, I can search for that item. Meanwhile, Hong Changsheng just emerged from a dungeon. His bodyguards continuously praise his performance, but Hong Changsheng has no interest in their flattery. His sister kindly runs over with water, hoping he will rest. However, Hong Changsheng knocks the water away. He refuses to waste even a single second that could be spent growing stronger and prepares to head to the next dungeon for additional training. Having reached E3 Astral Assassin, he is determined to show everyone in the mock combat assessment who the true genius is. Meanwhile, in an upscale residential complex, a girl with a long braid examines a list in her hands. She possesses an extremely rare gold quality profession. She remarks that this cohort of awakeners surprisingly includes no gold quality professions. This mock combat assessment holds nothing worth anticipating. The next morning, having overslept, I hurriedly wolf down breakfast and ask Mom why she did not wake me. Mom gestures with her arms. You were sleeping so soundly. I could not bear to wake you. Eat slowly. Being late once in a while is fine. A smile forms at the corner of my mouth. It has been so long since I slept so peacefully. Moreover, I have never eaten breakfast so comfortably with Mom like this. While pondering, Mom suddenly taps me. Startled, I anxiously ask what is wrong. Mom gestures, asking if there is anything I want, toys or electronic devices perhaps. I laugh heartily and wave my hand, asking why she suddenly wants to give me a gift. Mom points to the calendar on the door and gestures that my birthday is next Friday. This makes my heart tremble. So June 5th is my birthday. So much time has passed. In my previous life, after Mom died, no one celebrated my birthday. Gradually, I forgot about this day. However, I have nothing I particularly want now, because I already possess what I desire most. Next, I will accomplish one of my objectives. Find the dreadlocked man who betrayed us and kill him. After finishing breakfast, I arrive at the Awakener Middle School. The PE teacher announces that intensive mock combat preparation will begin and emphasizes the importance of this assessment to everyone. The Awakener Middle School I attend is directly affiliated with the Divine Guild. The guild constantly monitors every student's progress. Mock combat serves as the first performance stage for all Awakeners and functions as the middle school graduation assessment. It will be broadcast live in its entirety. Those who perform most exceptionally will have the opportunity to participate in the cultivation journey alongside high school students. They will train at the Divine Guild headquarters in Shenkei Kingdom. This place is extremely familiar to me. I met my master there. It is also the dreadlocked man's birthplace. However, he had no connection with my master. He only joined the team after I entered the Divine Legion. Therefore, to locate him now, I must score highly in this assessment to infiltrate the cultivation journey. At this moment, the PE teacher instructs everyone to begin training. The first phase is physical conditioning. Everyone enters the gravity chamber to complete 10 sets of shuttle runs. However, as everyone files into the room, I suddenly step forward and tell the teacher I do not wish to use this training facility. A novice warrior participates participating in mock combat for the first time, dares to question whether a gold medal trainer's instruction is misguided. The teacher's expression immediately becomes serious. He asks me what exactly is inappropriate about the physical conditioning training. I explain that physical conditioning is necessary for nearly all awakeners, so using the gravity chamber is not incorrect. However, Shuttle runs only suit professions like warriors and assassins that require speed and coordination. Not everyone needs them. Professions like mages and enchanters would benefit more from the elemental chamber for elemental control training. Furthermore, individual attribute distributions and personal habits require different training emphases. These words cause the teacher's gaze toward me to darken. Class President Chi Yin cannot help but feel shocked, because the training method I described matches exactly what Master Dongyang from the Divine Legion advocates. The crucial point is that this training model was only recently proposed. She would not know about it if she had not watched the recordings. She never expected that I could think along the same lines as Master Dongyang. The teacher's face darkens as he pats my shoulder. However, the next second his expression softens. He finds the training approach I described quite interesting. However, with so many students in the school, accommodating everyone's individual needs in a short time would be extremely difficult. Mock combat is essentially the middle school graduation performance. If it goes wrong, it could ruin a student's entire future. As a teacher, whether to choose students' futures for them or let them choose their own paths presents an enormous dilemma. Hearing this, I fall into contemplation. In my previous life, although my family situation was terrible, I fortunately encountered many excellent teachers who prevented my development from becoming too twisted. I then turn to the teacher and assure him that this graduation performance will not disappoint him. The teacher nods slightly and asks how I want to train. Recalling that I awakened as a nuclear warrior, I casually point to the nearby elemental chamber and ask if he can set the elemental negation to maximum. At this statement, my friends and the teacher are all stunned. Why would a warrior profession train in the elemental chamber? I quickly explain that I want to challenge my weakness to make my abilities more balanced. At this moment, Shi Yin raises her hand, expressing that she also wants to practice elemental control. The teacher sighs helplessly. We can train however we want, as long as we do not embarrass him in the final assessment. On the way, the class president proposes sparring with me, but I refuse without hesitation. Entering the elemental chamber, the elemental negation effect continuously increases. I am already extremely familiar with the warrior profession, but I am still a novice with the mage profession. During this period, I must master it as quickly as possible. Additionally, I must keep my trump card hidden. I cannot let others know I can acquire additional professions. This school operates under divine jurisdiction. They monitor every action. Premature exposure could make me a target. As for these classmates, it would be better to avoid forming connections with them. Training time passes quickly. Before I realize it, school has ended. On the way home, Glasses Guy and Bowl Cut follow behind me, breathing heavily. They were my close friends in middle school during my previous life. Because we were all bottom rankers and targets of bullying, we often gathered after school. Those were my only happy moments in middle school. However, in this life, my goal is revenge. Meaningless social interactions will only slow me down. Yet I still feel somewhat concerned about Glasses Guy. Watching me ride away, Bowl Cut complains, "What is his deal?" Just like Friday, he runs off alone again. What happened to being the depressed Iron Triangle? Hearing this, Glasses Guy sighs helplessly. After his second awakening, he suddenly became confident. Those who ride will not wait for those who walk. However, I ultimately cannot let it go. I stop my bike at the side. I tell Glasses Guy that if he has time recently, he must go to the hospital for a lung examination. After speaking, I get back on my bike and head home. In my previous life during high school, Glasses Guy was suddenly diagnosed with lung disease. He took medical leave and passed away shortly after. Even if we are no longer friends in this life, I still hope he remains healthy. Watching me leave, Bowl Cut cannot understand why I suddenly became so cold. Glasses Guy also senses that I have changed significantly, but he can be certain I am still me. Meanwhile, at the Shenkei Kingdom recruit training grounds, my master Dongyang leisurely enjoys the sunlight. I heard that recently, a new recruit who just joined the Divine Guild has been performing exceptionally. He glances at the recruit behind him. Is it you? Breaking records in every category? The dreadlocked man nods slightly. You flatter me, Master Dongyang. I have come to report to you. On the other side, I tell Mom to avoid going out alone from now on. I will return early in the evenings and buy groceries on the way. Mom nods in agreement. I know this is still not enough. I must quickly provide Mom with a more stable and secure environment. Meanwhile, at Awakener Prison, inmates queue to receive their evening meals. Bai Ling Sheng is naturally among them. He discreetly passes several bills to a guard. The guard understands immediately and whispers that he will be released within a few days. During the following period, I have largely mastered the mage's operations. The key factors are casting time and elemental force calculations. During this time, I also kindly advise my two old friends on how to correct errors in their training. Glasses Guy follows my suggestion and gets a medical examination. The doctor remarks that fortunately he came for an examination in time. A parasitic tumor has appeared in his lungs. Once it begins growing, it will develop extremely rapidly. He must schedule surgery at a major hospital soon. Removing it will resolve the issue. This greatly shocks Glasses Guy. If not for missing a school physical examination, he would not have specifically added a lung CT scan. He cannot understand how I knew his lungs would have problems. After the examination, he walks alone through the school building. He unexpectedly overhears news about Hong Chung Sheng. Over these past few days, using his family's dungeon, he has advanced to E rank. He has decided to seek revenge against me after school today. Upon hearing this, Glasses Glasses Guy immediately rushes to save me. He suspects Hong Chang-sheng will likely use underhanded tactics and possibly bring many people to gang up on me. With this thought, Glasses Guy suddenly realizes something. What use would going there be? A chanter without even offensive skills is utterly useless. Moreover, he seemingly has no reason to confront Hong Chang-sheng. After all, avoiding trash is his survival principle. However, the next second, he breaks through the door lock without hesitation. He knows deeply that if I had not told him about his lung problem, he might have died soon. In other words, his life was saved by his brother. Even if it cost him his life, he should save his brother. Immediately, Glasses Guy selects a giant axe from the armory. He cannot stand by and watch his brother face danger. However, a voice suddenly sounds behind him, startling him so much he nearly drops the weapon. The person who arrived is class president Chi Yin, asking why he is breaking into the armory. Glasses Guy speaks anxiously. I need to save my brother. Meanwhile, I walk alone on my way home. Come out. You have been following me since leaving school. What do you want? Hearing this, Hong Chang-sheng walks into the twilight holding a dagger, stating directly that he has come to settle the score from last weekend. My brow furrows slightly. I question what makes him think he has the strength to defeat me. At that moment, Hong Chang-sheng activates a speed skill and charges toward me explosively. At the instant before contact, he activates the skill Backstab, attempting to defeat me by surprise. Seeing this, I immediately summon my blade. Then with a backhand strike, I sever his dagger. Hong Chang-sheng is profoundly shocked, never expecting my attack power to be so high. I turn to look at him with a cold gaze. Did you think you were the only one who improved? With that, I grip my blade properly and launch a counterattack. During our first battle, something Hong Chang-sheng did not realize becomes instantly clear to him after his extensive training and growth. Even among peers, the person before him is someone he can never surpass. Hong Chang-sheng cannot comprehend why my advancement speed is so rapid. He practices at school every day and trains additional hours at home, working so desperately. Why is he not as fast as me? Hearing him say desperately, I cannot help but laugh. I press my blade against his throat and ask calmly, have you ever died? Seeing there's no way out, Hong Chang-sheng roars that I can kill or torture him as I please, claiming I must have disliked him all along. I don't refute this, but I don't really hate him either. He followed me all this way without choosing to ambush me, and didn't call for backup. He came alone, so he just wanted to test his strength against me. Hearing his plan exposed, Hong Chang-sheng rages helplessly, telling me to cut the crap. If I let him go today, he'll definitely come back for revenge. Meanwhile, Glasses Guy and Chi Yin are hiding and observing secretly. Seeing me dominate Hong Chang-sheng on the ground, they realize their help isn't needed. At this moment, I tell Hong Chang-sheng that I've actually been waiting for him. Let's make a deal. I can tell you how to get stronger faster, but you also need to give me something. Time quickly arrives at the assessment day. After a week of training, the mock combat begins today. Before this, the teacher reminds us that although it's called mock combat, we're still going to real demon caves. Even though most of the cave's power is sealed by barriers, danger still exists. After all, many demon beasts inhabit these caves. Remember to act within your abilities. To ensure safety, the school has only assigned excellent upperclassmen from the high school division as guides. They usually won't participate in combat, but when we encounter danger, they'll intervene or terminate the exercise promptly. This assessment will form teams of 4 to 5 people, with one upperclassman leading 3 to 4 students into the dungeon. Students can choose F rank or E rank dungeons on their own. E rank dungeons are naturally much harder. Without sufficient strength, challenging them isn't recommended. Failure may result in loss of credits. After the reminder, the teacher immediately announces that dungeon rank selection begins now. Once all students have chosen their ranks, assignments will be made accordingly. Now, students choosing E rank demon caves, please raise your hands. As the words fall, Chi Yin immediately raises her hand. Hong Chang-sheng naturally also chooses E-rank difficulty. In the end, out of 180 students, only 8 choose E-rank demon caves, and I'm not among them. When the teacher announces that the remaining students will be randomly assigned to F-rank demon caves, I suddenly raise my hand, expressing that I want to challenge the school's D-rank Jade Spirit demon cave. Seeing this, everyone mocks me for being overconfident. The dean immediately rejects this, stating only awakeners of D-rank or above can enter. I state bluntly that the school handbook has no such regulation, and the mock combat rules allow self-selection of rank. The school's purpose is to find excellent talent for the Divine Legion, and the standards for excellence are courage, strength, responsibility, and talent. Having said this, I question the dean. Does he want to deprive me of my chance to prove myself? The dean reluctantly agrees to my request, but insists that the demon cave must be entered as a team. My attitude remains firm. I respond that I alone am enough for a D-rank demon cave. These continuous challenges irritate the dean. He says sternly that school regulations must be followed. Team formation ensures student safety. At this moment, class president Chi Yin suddenly raises her hand. She changes her choice, saying she also wants to challenge the D-rank demon cave. The dean is completely stunned. He asks Chi Yin how he's supposed to explain to her father if she encounters danger, but Chi Yin states bluntly that she just wants to earn high scores. The dean is both angry and anxious. Chi Yin's family background is not something he can afford to offend. At this moment, Chi Yin winks at me, seemingly wanting to say she's helping me out, but I still maintain my previous attitude, refusing to team up. I want to solo this. Chi Yin's face immediately flushes with anger, asking why I keep rejecting her. The PE teacher smiles faintly, indicating my refusal is invalid, but 2 people entering a D-rank dungeon still carries risks, and likely no upperclassman will be willing to take this risk to lead us. At this moment, a lavishly dressed upperclassman suddenly raises his hand, saying he's willing to protect the nation's flowers. The PE teacher remembers his name is Xiling. Having him lead the team is reassuring. Chi Yin also tells me that this person apparently almost joined the ultimate school regiment. He does have some ability, but I'm somewhat doubtful of this guy's strength, because I've never heard of either this name or the ultimate school regiment. Once all teams are assigned, the teacher announces the mock combat will begin immediately. Throughout the demon cave, there will be live streaming. Drone equipment will track and broadcast everything. The entire test process will be recorded. I hope everyone performs well and leaves a vivid mark on their youth. The Awakener-affiliated middle school where I am was built upon a great demon cave that was once conquered. The high school and middle school divisions together. The great demon cave spawned many lower-level caves, perfect for student training. Most are controlled at F rank to D rank. The moment we enter the dungeon symbolizes the start of mock combat, but the entire combat is being live-streamed. All actions will be recorded. Therefore, I must exercise control and not reveal all my cards in front of unknown threats. The reason I want to enter Jade Spirit Demon Cave is because what I need is inside. After entering the cave, Xiling assures he can keep us safe. Even if it's an unsealed D-rank demon cave, he's conquered it before with others. Hearing this, Chi Yin curiously asks how strong D-rank demon beasts are. Xiling explains they're generally between E5 and D5. After all, the school cave's powerful beasts are sealed, so D-rank monsters rarely appear, let alone bosses. But even so, don't underestimate high-level E-rank monsters. Their attack power and speed can sometimes be very formidable. For rookies who just awakened, they're indeed hard to handle. Having said this, Xiling claims he'll try to find low-level beasts so we can farm credits, but I've already walked briskly ahead of him. Xiling hurriedly tells me to stay behind him. Alerting high-level beasts would be very dangerous. I turn and look at him coldly. You're too noisy. Stand back quietly. We don't need you to act. Hearing this, Xiling trembles with anger. A rookie who just awakened dares speak to an upperclassman like this. Meanwhile, our every move is being live-streamed. Various major guilds are observing closely in one room. Students who catch their eye will receive invitations. The vice leader of the ultimate school regiment is also watching this live stream, hoping the leader will watch too. This year's mock combat won't be boring. A junior chose to challenge a D-rank dungeon. Hearing this, the leader immediately becomes interested, asking what profession that person is. The vice leader explains this is the most interesting part. The trashiest green quality warrior actually has the confidence to challenge a D-rank dungeon. On another front, my buddy Glasses Guy is tackling an F-rank demon cave. As a chanter with no offensive capabilities, he appears quite helpless when facing demon beasts. Hong Qiangsheng, who's tackling an E-rank cave, also faces a bad situation. He's now the only one in the team with combat power to kill beasts, but Hong Qiangsheng shows no fear, continuously slaying attacking beasts, determined to surpass me in this test. In contrast, I appear completely at ease in the D-rank demon cave. E-rank beasts can't last 2.5 seconds under my blade. Before long, beast corpses pile up before me. Chi Yin looks at me with admiration, asking how I managed to do this. I explain that the monsters here are sealed, able to use only half their power, so they're not hard to handle. But even so, Chi Yin sees I'm very strong. Even at half power, fighting multiple enemies at once is real. She's still far behind me. Hearing this, my expression remains calm as I continue deeper into the cave. I tell her there's no need to compare herself to anyone, just do her best. Seeing me show off like this, Xiling grits his teeth. He warns me this is a D-rank dungeon. Overconfidence will definitely lead to trouble. After speaking, he's about to give me some upperclassman advice, but I have no interest in his rambling. I tell Chi Yin to handle the beasts coming from the right. I'll handle those on the left. I know this mock combat tests individual ability. The beasts on the right are lower level. Chi Yin alone should be enough to handle them. This way, both she and I can achieve good scores. At this moment, Xiling's face, which I've been ignoring, looks extremely unpleasant. A longbow quietly materializes in his hand. He wants to show me how severe the consequences of disrespecting an upperclassman can be. The young man casually slays a demon beast. Yet this greatly shocks the teachers watching the live stream, because they know I just awakened as a nuclear warrior. Yet I can one-shot E-rank beasts with every blade swing. They also notice that my reason for having the class president clear the right side beasts is because I observed the elemental counter relationships. Having the flower element president handle astral element beasts, this deepens the teacher's appreciation. In a test examining individual ability, having such tactical awareness is remarkably rare. The PE teacher recalls what I once told him. This graduation performance won't disappoint him. He can't help but anticipate what I'll do next. Actually, I just observed that astral element beasts basically all come from the right cave. While being lower level, they're also countered by Chi Yin's flower element. Plus, mages possess a basic skill unique to their profession at E rank. Chi Yin's skill creates a poisonous wall using plants. But for her first time in a demon cave, to calmly handle monsters higher level than herself alone like this, and even think to use walls to trap and narrow the area to kill monsters, she does have talent. I now arrive at the left cave entrance. D-rank monsters should all be sealed. Chi Yin alone is sufficient to handle these low-level beasts right now. Under these circumstances, even before the live stream, I can hide my strength and still achieve high scores. I just need to find a way to evade surveillance and enter. But at this moment, upperclassman Xiling suddenly draws his bow, aiming at Chi Yin. Without Without hesitation, he releases the bowstring. An arrow flies past Chi-Yin at incredible speed, shooting straight into the left cave. Just as Chi-Yin is about to ask what he means, Xiling quickly says he wanted to buff her but shot off target. Simultaneously, a massive beast charges out of the cave at high speed. Looking closely, it's a D11 rank twin-headed main lion. Seeing this, Chi-Yin hurriedly channels her magic power to create vine walls. But due to the level gap, the twin-headed main lion quickly breaks free from the restraints. Seeing Chi-Yin about to die in its gaping maw, Xiling's eyes become crazed. He knows it's now his turn to perform. However, I already sensed something was wrong. The skill swift movement activates instantly. I rush over for support at maximum speed. My blade slashes down fiercely onto the twin-headed main lion's face. The twin-headed main lion recoils in pain. One of its heads is clearly blinded in one eye, but I still don't understand why this monster is so fast. Behind me, Xiling now shows a sinister expression. He knows this cave very well. Although most D-rank beasts are sealed, there's one overlooked twin-headed main lion in this cavern that continuously responds. Freshly awakened rookies simply cannot handle this monster, and the arrow he just shot specifically buffed the twin-headed main lion. Gravity reduction by 10 times, significantly boosting damage and speed. My expression becomes grave. Must I use my full strength to defeat this monster? But I quickly abandon this cowardly thought, telling Chi-Yin to retreat to the back first. At this moment, the twin-headed main lion lunges at us with fierce intent. Chi-Yin hurriedly channels her magic to use the skill vine wall. The twin-headed main lion is instantly immobilized in place. Having learned her lesson earlier, Chi-Yin continues channeling her magic. Under the restraint of 3 layers of vine walls, the twin-headed main lion cannot attack. This scene leaves me completely stunned. I didn't expect this girl to have this trick. Chi-Yin tells me she doesn't want to run away alone. Even if the beast is D rank, she wants to face it with me. She's worked so hard. She can't give up in a place like this. Hearing this, I smile faintly. I thought she'd be scared stiff, but she adjusted quite quickly. I tell her to watch her elemental power consumption. She can't carelessly use skills from here on. I remember in my past life, Chi-Yin was already shining brightly in middle school. She was a confident, optimistic young lady. Although I heard her family background was influential, she was kind to everyone. She became class president in middle school and was always conscientious and responsible. But later there was no news of her. Perhaps she lived an ordinary normal life. But she's currently someone trustworthy. As long as no other accidents occur, I should be able to hide my strength and pass this trial. Seeing that we actually want to kill a beast above our level without begging him, the upperclassman, for help, Xiling becomes furious. Combat isn't won by confidence alone. Freshly awakened rookies simply cannot handle this enhanced D-rank beast. Therefore, he decides to continue observing, waiting until we can only beg him for help before acting. Just at this moment, the twin-headed main lion completely breaks free from the vine wall restraints. I tell Chi-Yin I'll lure the lion while she waits for the right moment to act. After speaking, she and I run in opposite directions. Since I just inflicted damage on the twin-headed main lion, I'm now its priority target, so I immediately run toward the riverside. Then, without hesitation, I jump into the river. As I predicted, the twin-headed main lion will definitely enter the water to continue pursuit, and as a nuclear element beast, it will fall into a fatal trap. In an instant, countless vines surge from underwater, entangling it. It turns out Chi-Yin found the right moment to act from the shore. As she softly utters the word retract, the twin-headed main lion that could easily break free from vine walls becomes helpless. Its berserk nuclear element states all fail, and it falls into a poison state. I take advantage of this to swim from underwater to the shore. I tell Chi-Yin that the twin-headed main lion is now a lamb for slaughter. Killing it will be enough to achieve the highest test score. Xiling, observing from the side, is already dumbfounded. He can't believe a single vine wall can trap the twin-headed main lion. Even if he acted, subduing it wouldn't be so easy, especially since he specifically enhanced the twin-headed main lion. The teachers watching the live stream provide the answer. The nuclear element lion was lured into water, preventing its skills from functioning, while flower element abilities are enhanced in water. Using simple elemental counters and team coordination, they easily restrained a beast above their level. Both on-the-spot reaction ability and leadership ability are outstanding. Thus, the teachers conclude that first place in this combat is beyond doubt. Once they finish off the twin-headed main lion, the entire recording will be submitted to the guild for review. They will likely achieve a historic high score. But just at this moment, the live stream suddenly cuts off, and the person who destroyed the live stream drone is none other than the furious Xiling. Without video evidence, we can't get the highest credits. Bai Yi and Chi-Yin remain completely unaware at this moment. I tell her that her abilities were indispensable to this victory. Only by training sufficient elemental resistance beforehand could she use one skill with so many variations to trap it. At this moment, Xiling walks over with an impatient expression, telling us if we want to chat, we should go outside now and talk slowly. After speaking, he walks toward the cave entrance with great resentment. I then speak calmly. You clearly know what suddenly enhancing a D-rank beast means for students entering a cave for the first time, don't you? Xiling makes excuses, saying he originally intended to buff Chi-Yin but just shot off target. Hearing this, I laugh coldly. As an archer, you can't even guarantee your aim. Your skill level is truly pathetic. Chi-Yin beside me delivers a verbal finishing blow. No wonder you couldn't get into the ultimate school regiment. At these words, Xiling immediately draws his longbow, becoming furious with embarrassment. Seeing this, I immediately step in front of Chi-Yin, my eyes showing no fear whatsoever. Xiling can't help but be intimidated by my presence. He puts away his longbow and turns toward the entrance, saying saying bluntly that the road ahead is long, who knows who'll be glorious in the end. After the commotion settles, I notice the destroyed livestream drone. Without thinking, I know that guy did it. His purpose was to prevent Chi Yin and me from getting high scores. Now no one can see what's happening here. After he leaves, he'll need entrance permission to come back in, and everyone else is some distance from this cave. This creates just enough time for me to get what I want from the cave. Chi Yin and I then arrive before the sealed cavern. I hope she can keep this secret for me. Everything that happens next, though even if she told anyone, no one would believe it. Chi Yin listens in confusion, not understanding what I'm planning to do. I casually take out a stone from my pocket. This is precisely what I asked Hong Xiang Sheng for, an unsealing demon stone. I place the demon stone on the pile of rocks at the cave entrance. Dark red light radiates wildly, and what I'm about to do is completely unseal the D-rank demon cave. Seeing this, Chi Yin hurriedly urges me to stop. After unsealing, all the high-level beasts inside will surge out. Just the two of us simply cannot handle them. I tell her to rest assured, their power is still affected by the seal, and next, I alone can handle it. After speaking, I immediately switch to red quality cloud element mage. Chi Yin looks around, completely stunned, not understanding why I can also transform into a mage. I have no time to explain, telling her to wait at the exit first. Just at this moment, 3 twin-headed main lions suddenly charge out of the cavern. I immediately channel elemental power to cast the skill ice formation. The menacingly attacking twin-headed main lions are instantly frozen into ice sculptures. Chi Yin covers her mouth in shock, not expecting my mage profession to be red quality. I turn and tell her these beasts have been sealed inside for so long they must be going crazy. They'll all surge out together soon. Therefore, I need more space. Chi Yin understands immediately, retreating several steps back to ensure she won't get in my way. At this moment, a D12 rank blazing flame leopard charges out of the cavern. I know that although these beasts are D rank, having been sealed for so long, their power has diminished by at least half, and my mage skill is ice formation. Controlling them all is the primary objective. At this moment, I sense killing intent suddenly surging from behind. I immediately switch to nuclear warrior, simultaneously noticing that attacking me is a D13 rank fire sabertooth. The skill flash blink immediately activates. Circling behind it, I switch again to cloud element mage. The skill ice formation instantly freezes it into an ice sculpture. Chi Yin, who witnessed the entire process, is dumbfounded. She didn't expect I could switch professions so casually, and seeing my current operations, she can now understand why I wanted to enter the elemental chamber to train elemental resistance back then. It's because the essence of the mage profession is actually outputting energy directly in the form of natural forces, or manipulating same element objects within a certain range. Previously, she thought the stronger the magic power and the more releases, the more powerful. But after watching my operations, she realizes that control over power is more important. Elemental power comes from nature. It's a wild, primal force that's difficult to tame. Only by thoroughly controlling one's elemental power can one execute more varied techniques. Even a basic skill can achieve many more applications in my hands, as I manipulate countless chunks of solid ice to smash down heavily. Every single beast before me is frozen into ice without exception. Only now does Chi Yin realize that I've left everyone far behind long ago, but she has to admit that this version of me seems really cool to her. At this moment, the Jade Spirit Demon Cave Lord finally appears, a D15 rank prison mammoth. Seeing this, I switch to nuclear warrior and draw my blade. I immediately leap up onto its head to attack vital points. My blade continuously slashes through its thick hide, leaving an extremely long wound on its body. I must say, this sealed level 15 mammoth strength doesn't even match that of a level 10 monkey. At this moment, the prison mammoth turns and charges at me. I meet it head on, continuously slashing at its vital points with my blade. One of the prison mammoth's legs immediately loses strength. Seeing this, I frantically mobilize elemental power. The killing move Pure Land instantly cuts it in half at the waist. I obtain the title 1 against 100, and those beasts I froze meet the same fate. Kill notification sounds continuously echo in my ears. At the same time, I also obtain the high-grade material Jade Fang, an essential material for crafting the S-rank nuclear element weapon Blazing Flame unscathed. I casually store it in my dimensional bag. Then I look down at the jade pendant dropped by the prison mammoth. This response Jade Stone is precisely what I need most right now. Simultaneously, my mage profession rises to D rank, and the title 1 against 100 upgrades to 1 man holds the pass. Chi Yin's level also reaches E7 rank. I remind her not to forget what I said. I hope she can keep everything that happened here secret. Meanwhile, the teachers detect that the Jade Spirit Demon Cave's seal has been broken and are rushing urgently toward the entrance. On the way, they happen to encounter Xiling, questioning why he came out alone. Shouldn't he be inside protecting the juniors? But due to the urgency of the situation, the teachers have no time to understand the specifics. The immediate priority is to enter the cave and confirm their safety. Upon learning the seal was broken, Xiling shows a sinister smile, sarcastically thinking, this is what happens when you offend an upperclassman. However, when the teachers enter Jade Spirit Demon Cave, they discover that Chi Yin and I haven't suffered any injuries at all, and the unsealed cavern has already been secretly resealed by me. On another front, Xiling approaches the vice leader of the Ultimate School Regiment. He states bluntly that the materials he submitted this time are very substantial. Shouldn't the last regiment member position be reserved for him? Hearing this, the vice leader shakes his head slightly, indicating the leader already has a candidate. At these words, Xiling is thunderstruck, his face full of disbelief. He grabs the vice leader's arm and furiously demands, wasn't it agreed this position would be left for the most valuable person? Are his abilities and background still not enough? As they argue, the leader walks over slowly, explaining she's already found the most valuable person, and the leader of the ultimate school regiment is actually an LE, my teammate from my past life, and the person she's chosen is precisely me. Meanwhile, at a street-side stall outside the school, Inspector Chen Jinwoo of the surveillance team sternly warns Bai Lingsheng not to cause any more trouble. It took great effort to get him out early this time. He also says he's received the latest news that Hong Dawei will return next Friday, telling Bai Lingsheng to know what's coming. Bai Lingsheng, slurping noodles, nods slightly, telling him to rest assured. At this moment, Vice Captain Li Ong suddenly calls. Seeing this, Chen Jinwoo shows a face full of disdain, stating he needs to return to the team now and telling Bai Lingsheng to go home early too. Bai Lingsheng's expression immediately becomes sinister, saying in a low voice that of course he'll go home early. But when he returns home, he's completely stunned. He's surprised to discover the house is completely empty. Furious, he frantically smashes furniture, swearing that if he finds out where we are, he'll definitely murder us mercilessly. Meanwhile, I hang one of the response jade stones on my mother. I remind her to keep it on her from now on, and I'll carry the other piece on me. If she ever encounters danger, she only needs to crush this jade. My piece will sense it, and I'll immediately come to her side. Previously, because I didn't have this item, I really couldn't feel at ease with my mother going out alone. In my memory, my mother never received necklaces or jewelry. She never had any of the things a woman should rightfully have. This makes me, as her son, feel somewhat guilty. At this moment, my mother gestures with her hands, telling me I don't need to always hover around her on weekends. At this age, I should go out and have fun with friends. I smile faintly and shake my head slightly, telling my mother to rest assured I don't have that need. My mother hurriedly gestures, expressing how could anyone not need friends? You must have your own important people. Of course I know I have important people and friends, but I don't know if I'll be able to meet those guys in this lifetime. At 11:58 at night, I arrive before a wild D-rank demon cave. This is another hidden cave I know of. It only opens briefly at midnight and closes at 1, so I don't have much time. Now I should focus on improving myself. In my past life, I had already become a top-tier warrior, yet I could still only watch helplessly as my comrades died before my eyes. With this thought, I summon my blade and charge forward to kill. With just one strike, I one-shot a D13 rank bloodthirsty flower. At this moment, I recall my mother asking why I don't make some friends. This is like a thorn stuck in my heart. So what if I make friends? When someday a god has a whim, we'll still die without a burial place. Therefore, I must become stronger, become faster, until I'm more powerful than anyone else. Kill notification sounds continuously echo in my ears, but this experience is far from enough. I must fight desperately. Right now, I'm far too weak. I can't even beat that man, let alone that genius who's been a gold-quality archer profession since childhood. So I have no detours or shortcuts to take. I cannot avoid any enemy. When I channel elemental power to execute the killing move Pure Land, all beasts obstructing my advance are cut in half at the waist. My originally battered body also instantly recovers completely, but this cave's entrance will close in only 20 minutes. I must hurry to defeat the Lord. I then proceed vigilantly into the depths of the cave. Soon I detect killing intent suddenly surging not far away. I see a beast standing prominently on a large tree ahead. It's the D20 rank Lord Yi Wuming. In the blink of an eye, it suddenly vanishes from its spot. When it reappears, it's already before me. Seeing this, I immediately summon the Kunwu blade. With one upward slash, I directly sever its incoming heavy punch, but Ye Wuming's expression remains extremely calm. The skill self-healing instantly activates. A brand new arm immediately grows out. I can't help but be somewhat surprised. This self-healing ability is actually this strong. At this moment, Ye Wuming thrusts its arm into the ground. Countless emerald vines immediately shoot up around us. Immediately after, those beasts I killed actually revive on the spot. I'm extremely puzzled. Logically, D-rank lords shouldn't have resurrection abilities. I suddenly feel intense pain in my abdomen. Only then do I realize my stomach has been pierced by a spike that attacked at some unknown moment, and the one who ambushed me is actually a second lord, C.I. Wuming, Ye Wuming's twin brother. At this moment, the time reaches 1 in the morning. The cave's entrance and exit are closed. Meanwhile, because I still haven't returned home, my mother is very worried. Whether texting or calling, she receives no response from me. This causes a bad premonition to arise in her heart. She decides to go out and search. She guesses I must have gone somewhere dangerous again, just like last time. But what's terrible is that Bai Lingsheng somehow learned my and my mother's new address. He walks slowly through heavy rain to the entrance of the upscale residential area, determined to severely cripple my mother and me tonight. During this time, I've already killed the twin spirit lords a full 5 times, but they can instantly recover and stand up again, and those revived beasts continuously attack me. However, killing them doesn't grant experience or items again. It only wastes my stamina. Therefore, my immediate priority now is to find the source of their continuous resurrection. I immediately activate Flash Blink to appear before C.I. Wuming. My blade precisely stabs into its vital point, but its wounds heal at a visibly rapid pace. It's Yi Wuming behind me activating healing abilities, but I've tried attacking this guy before. Even cutting off its head, it can immediately self-heal. This ability is truly too bug, continuously reviving dead beasts while instantly healing injured allies. You must know, even S-rank and above healers can't reach this level. What exactly is providing a boost to its power, or where is a large amount of healing power being stored? As I ponder, C.I. Wuming suddenly activates the skill Flash Blink. Almost in the the blink of an eye, it arrives at my side. I hurriedly use the skill parry to deflect the attack. Simultaneously, the skill block triggers, reflecting the full physical damage back to the opponent. I never expected that after fighting for this while, this guy would actually learn my techniques. At this moment, C.I. Wooming softly utters 3 words. You are strong. After speaking, its wounds heal completely again. But this time I clearly see what's causing trouble behind the scenes. A confident expression appears on my face. This large tree behind C.I. Wooming is the energy center. Seeing this, I immediately sever C.I. Wooming's arm and charge forward to attack. The Lord's healing power works over such a wide area because of this tree's presence. So if I sever these trees, I can kill them completely. In an instant, I raise my blade and cut the tree in half. At the same time, I switch my class to Cloud Mage. I immediately activate the skill Ice Formation. C.I. Wooming and Ye Wooming are instantly frozen into ice sculptures. Then I switch to Nuclear Warrior. My blade pierces through Ye Wooming's chest in an instant. Just as I expected, once Ye Wooming and the tree fall, they lose all healing and resurrection abilities. I also obtain the premium item Skylark Herb, which instantly restores 50% of stamina and heals most physical damage. At this moment, C.I. Wooming breaks free from Ice Formation's restraint, but now it poses no threat to me. What completely surprises me is that C.I. Wooming actually spreads its arms wide, allowing me to kill it. This is the first time I encounter such a lord. Perhaps it refuses to live on after its brother died in battle. I immediately raise my blade and strike it down, fulfilling its final wish. I obtain the premium material Venomous Thorn, an essential component for crafting the S-rank flower element weapon Venom Pierce Unlimited. After this battle, my Nuclear Warrior reaches D rank level 15, while my Cloud Mage reaches D rank level 13. My flower element accumulation is now sufficient, and a new class is about to awaken. Colorful flowers suddenly swirl around me. I begin to wonder what quality this awakening will bring. To my surprise, I awaken a blue quality flower summoner. For summoner classes, the stat requirements are relatively low. The real question is how good the main skills are. I immediately open the status panel to check. The skill Flower Spirit contract proves incredibly powerful. After defeating flower element creatures, I can form contracts with their souls and make them serve me. Currently, I can contract 2 beings. I just happen to defeat 2 flower element lords. The passive skill Flower Field activates, and I see the souls of Ye Wooming and C.I. Wooming. I immediately activate Flower Spirit Contract. 3 words leave my lips calmly. Stand up. With this, the 2 great lords become my contract beasts. Meanwhile, Bai Lingsheng has reached the residential complex entrance, but a sudden phone call interrupts his steps. After answering, he hears Chen Jinwu's voice, telling Bai Lingsheng to attend Captain Hong's banquet. Upon hearing this news, Bai Lingsheng immediately turns and leaves the complex, promising to seize this opportunity and prepare lavish gifts for Captain Hong. He will not waste this golden chance to rejoin the Legion. After hanging up, Bai Lingsheng wears a broad smile, remarking what a wonderful day this is. He decides not to visit my mother's and my new home tonight, but instead to catch up with his sister. Just a few minutes later, my mother arrives at the complex entrance. She happens to see me walking into the complex with groceries. I walk quickly to her and hold the umbrella over her head. Let's go home, mother. After returning home, I give the woven flower element bracelet to my mother. I explain that I went out tonight to make up for missing Mother's Day with this gift. Though she cannot speak, she clearly knows I have been to dangerous places recently. After dinner, I lie in bed, deep in thought. Currently, I possess 3 classes: Green Warrior, Blue Summoner, and Red Mage. 2 of these combat classes have reached D rank. The newly awakened Flower Summoner is only E rank, but as it levels up, the number of contracts will increase. After advancement, I can contract creatures regardless of element. This is still far from enough. Bai Lingsheng was imprisoned on the 21st. Today is day 10. He will be released in 5 days. But knowing his character, bribing the guards for early release is entirely possible. That is why I prepared these measures in advance, just in case. The next morning, I arrive at another hidden demon cave. I know avoidance will not solve the problem. Before the cultivation journey, I must resolve this matter completely. In just a few hours, I clear 4 hidden demon caves, but it is far from enough. I cannot rest for a moment these days. I must raise my class level to C rank as quickly as possible. The next time I face Bai Lingsheng, I will be stronger than him. At this moment, the system suddenly announces a notification. I obtain the new title Lone Wolf Hero and the item Hero's Key. After meeting certain conditions, I can unlock the Warrior's Tower. In the blink of an eye, Monday morning arrives. Teacher Huang announces the final assessment results are ready. Chi Yin and I achieved 1st and 2nd place respectively across the entire school. My recording was sent to headquarters and, after thorough analysis, was rated as the highest score in history. Therefore, Chi Yin and I have earned qualification for the cultivation journey. Due to my outstanding performance, I've also earned an audience with the divine race. Many classmates envy this achievement. An audience with the divine race is an honor that even divine officials may not receive. This unexpected blessing truly surprises me. I will meet those people so soon. My close friend Glasses Guy feels genuinely happy for me. He always knew I would shine. Meanwhile, in the academic affairs office, Director Hong Liang asks Hong Changsheng a question. Are you certain you do not want to go? Your father rarely returns. You could easily use the excuse of accompanying him to headquarters to join this cultivation journey. Upon hearing this, Hong Changsheng immediately declines. He believes that placing only 3rd means he does not deserve to go. He refuses to let others think he relies entirely on his father. Hearing these words, Hong Liang shows an expression of relief. He did not expect Hong Changsheng to possess such integrity. He hopes the father will witness his son's growth. At this moment, Hong Changsheng asks Hong Liang for a favor. He requests access to the sealed D-rank demon caves in the back mountain. The reason is simple. He wants to grow stronger through his own efforts. On the other side, in the principal's office, Xiling begs his uncle to allow him on this cultivation journey. He is the only heir of the Z family. Principal Zi Yunqing's expression turns serious. He naturally knows Xiling is the Z family's only bloodline, yet the young man still acts so recklessly. How could he do such a thing during the combat assessment, enhancing demon beasts to backstab younger students? At these words, Xiling's expression suddenly turns panicked. Before he can explain, the principal slams the desk heavily. Do you think those above are fools? They cannot see through your crude tricks? If I had not suppressed this matter, do you think you would still remain at this school? At this point, Xiling's legs begin trembling uncontrollably. He quickly kneels and admits his mistake, promising it will never happen again. Seeing this, the principal coldly tells him to stand. He states that because of Xiling's actions, the higher-ups discovered me, this particular individual. They sensed something unusual about me. Principal Zi Yunqing explains that my growth trajectory is too unreasonable. That is why someone from the divine race will personally meet me this time. He decides to help Xiling join this cultivation journey, but on the condition that he controls his temper. If he causes any more trouble, the principal cannot protect him. Xiling's face immediately brightens. He thanks his uncle, the principal. At the same time, he silently plots to make me experience unforgettable memories during this cultivation journey, and also an LE, who refused to let him join the ultimate school regiment. He swears that one day he will possess her. Meanwhile, I receive an invitation from the ultimate school regiment. This makes my classmates extremely envious. This is the school's strongest regiment. Joining them means guaranteed entry into the Divine Legion. The founder is the school's only gold quality assassin this year. Normally, people compete desperately for a chance to join. My close friend Potlid Head is now in tears, feeling happy to have such an outstanding friend. I immediately stand and take the invitation in my hand. Then I toss it into the trash without hesitation. My classmates cannot understand why I refuse. Will I reject such a golden opportunity delivered to my doorstep? I do not respond to this. I simply say I have matters to attend to and leave the classroom. Potlid Head looks at the invitation in the trash, feeling it is such a waste. This is an opportunity he will never have in his lifetime. Glasses Guy, who has remained silent until now, suddenly speaks. They do not understand Bai Yi, but do you still not understand? He will not join anyone's legion. Now, he will only be a leader. After nightfall, I come alone to the school's back mountain. Hong Changsheng has been waiting at the demon cave entrance. He states he obtained access to all the D-rank demon caves. No one will come to this area at night. I nod slightly. I feel D-rank demon caves are too difficult for him. Perhaps we should start with E-rank caves. Hong Changsheng immediately retorts, telling me to stop talking nonsense. When fighting starts, he will not hold me back. I previously promised to show him combat techniques and methods for rapid growth, but the condition was helping me obtain access to the school's demon caves. What I did not expect was that he would directly acquire all the D-rank demon caves. At this moment, Hong Changsheng gets knocked to the ground by a demon beast. I kindly ask if he needs my help. Hong Changsheng immediately tells me to get lost. He can handle it himself. With that, he picks up his blade and charges at the demon beast again. I observe from the side while falling into thought. I accidentally obtained the hero's key earlier, which is essential for unlocking the warrior's tower. However, I need my class to reach B rank before I can use it. I have nearly cleared all the wild demon caves I can find. The school's demon caves are now my only channel for leveling up. The higher the class level, the more experience required for leveling up. After reaching D rank, level progression slows considerably. Fortunately, there are enough demon beasts. This experience will suffice. Over the next several days, Hong Changsheng and I spend most of our time leveling in D rank demon caves. During this period, the ultimate school regiment sends invitations daily, but I still have no intention of accepting. After 3 days pass, Hong Changsheng successfully advances to D rank. He remarks that entering demon caves is far more interesting than being accompanied by those foolish bodyguards at home. I finally advance my warrior class to C rank, my cloud mage reaches D rank level 19, and my flower summoner reaches D rank level 11. My current stats are sufficient to deal with Bai Lingxing. Moreover, after reaching C rank, I possess an entirely new skill. After returning home, my mother shows a meaningful smile. Using hand gestures, she asks if I have been dating some cute girl these past few days. I immediately wave my hands. How could that be possible? I'm only a middle school student. Mother continues gesturing. Then why do you return so late every day? Have you been fooling around with friends? If you like a girl, that is perfectly normal. For those you care about and like, you should bravely pursue them. Do not wait until you lose the opportunity to feel regret. Upon hearing these words, my expression suddenly grows serious. I did have a girl I cared about. She was my teammate from my past life, an LE. Though she was usually carefree and bold, always sticking close to me. Every time we went on missions together, she was incredibly serious and focused. I could entrust my back to her without hesitation, but she would always ask me for a hug after completing missions, making me, the team captain, run away red-faced every time. It was not until we all suffered the dreadlocked man's betrayal that I realized that regardless of what feelings I held, I had never once initiated a hug with her. In my past life, I met in LA after my master rescued me from death row. Our encounter took place in the capital of Shenge Kingdom. I have no idea where she might be now. In this life, meeting her again seemed unlikely. In this reborn life, only I retain memories of the past. Even if we met, there probably would not be any connection. However, what I do not yet know is that she and I will meet very soon. The vice leader of the Ultimate School Regiment sends a message to an LE. Bai Yi still has not responded. It seems he has no interest in our regiment. After finishing her evening routine, an LE sees this message and smiles calmly. She develops great interest in this middle school student. She decides to personally deliver the invitation tomorrow. The next morning when I wake, I receive a gift from my mother. Through sign language, mother expresses happy birthday to me. Only then do I remember today is my birthday. The gift mother gives me is a scarf she knitted herself, wishing my dear son eternal happiness and the courage to live the life he chooses. I am naturally deeply moved, but summer hardly seems appropriate for wearing a scarf. I ask mother if she knows I will soon go to Shenkei Kingdom. Mother nods slightly and gestures. The temperature difference between day and night is significant there. Take care of yourself. Mother will also take care of herself. My heart suddenly trembles. Mother has always known what I have been doing and has been silently supporting me from behind. In this moment of emotion, mother suddenly hands me a stack of money, telling me to treat my best friends to a meal today. Looking at the money in my hand, I sigh helplessly. I barely have any friends now. After finishing breakfast, I arrive at school. To my surprise, an extremely exquisite figurine sits on my desk. Having never engaged with anime culture, I feel puzzled. I cannot identify which character this is. Potlet Head looks extremely excited, asking how I like his gift. This is his favorite item, but today he parts with this treasure as a birthday present for me. Glasses Guy immediately walks over, believing that figurines are too common as gifts. He states frankly that his gift required tremendous effort to obtain. I look down, and my eyes widen in shock. This is actually the original tape of my favorite film, The Prestige. In my past life, Glasses Guy and I would often sneak into the shed to secretly watch banned pre-catastrophe films. Glasses Guy quickly whispers to me that teachers must not discover this item. I must keep it safely hidden. Upon hearing this, I immediately tuck the original tape into my desk. I sincerely thank him for the gift. At this moment, class president Chi Yin also walks over. Wearing a bright smile, she hands me a birthday gift she carefully prepared. Potlet Head and Glasses Guy look over and immediately exclaim in surprise, marveling at how generous the class president is. The gift is actually an A-rank mage weapon, the Phantasm Gem. I must admit this gift truly moves me. However, this item is far too valuable. I hope Chi Yin will take it back. Chi Yin smiles warmly and tells me to accept it with peace of mind. She states that without me, she could not participate in the cultivation journey. This is not particularly precious. Her family has many more. Moreover, it should be very helpful to me now. Hearing these words, I fall into thought. I truly need to improve myself now. I have no reason to refuse. She must have noticed when I switched classes that I use the lowest grade mage weapon. That is why she gives me this Phantasm Gem. She is truly a thoughtful girl. But what moves me most is that these people all remembered my birthday and prepared gifts so thoughtfully. I originally intended to leave this place quietly without forming any bonds or entanglements with them, but I have now abandoned that idea. These three are important people in my heart. Let's have dinner together tonight. My treat. Do you have time? As my words finish, all three immediately shout that they have time. Potlet Head states he will choose the restaurant. At this moment, I hear classmates discussing behind me. Why are high school students coming to the middle school section? It seems they are heading toward our classroom. Meanwhile, discussions spread across the entire floor. The leader of the Ultimate School Regiment will personally invite me to join. Seeing the situation, I stand up. It seems refusing in person is the better approach. As I slowly walk out of the classroom, everyone's gaze focuses on me. This naturally includes Xiling, who previously tried to harm me. He still cannot understand what merits I possess that would cause the regiment leader to personally come invite me. At this moment, the corridor lights suddenly extinguish from an electrical current. My eyes suddenly fill with shock. This golden electrical current gives me an inexplicably familiar feeling. At this moment, an electrical current passes through the crowd in the corridor. It rushes toward me at extreme speed. Seeing this, I have no intention of dodging. I recognize this as merely a feint. I immediately summon the Kunwu blade, sensing changes in the surrounding aura. Soon, a golden electrical current rapidly approaches from my left rear. I immediately swing my blade behind me with reversed grip, blocking this sneak attack. My movement is so fast that no one present can see it clearly. At this moment, an all too familiar female voice speaks. Your reaction is indeed fast. It seems I chose the right person. I look toward the voice, my eyes filled with disbelief. I never imagined that the leader of the Ultimate School Regiment is actually an LE who faced life and death with me in my past life. Memories of her from my past life instantly flood my mind. This girl who was always full of energy and cheerful spirit, who would always lighten the heavy atmosphere after each mission, whose carefree and bold personality often made me blush. Seeing me frozen in place, and Le takes the initiative to explain. The Ultimate School Regiment sent me many invitations, but I never received any response. So today she came to visit personally. After hearing this, Potlet Head and Glasses Guy whisper quietly. If I refuse the invitation to her face, it will be very embarrassing for an LE as the regiment leader. At this moment, an Le extends her hand toward me and begins introducing herself. But how could I not know who she is? In my past life, I never agreed to her hugs. In this moment, I embrace her without hesitation. I have so many things I want to tell her slowly, but the words on my lips finally condense into one phrase. An LE, long time no see. This sudden embrace leaves Enlay stunned in place. The previously noisy corridor becomes incredibly quiet. All the students' gazes focus on an LE and me. Seeing this, Potlet Head is completely stunned. He did not expect me to embrace her publicly like this. He jokes whether this is a real-life romance between an older woman and younger man crossing social classes. Class President Chi Yin looks on, dumbfounded. She has liked me for quite some time, but she never imagined I would prefer the older sister type. Glasses Guy quietly explains to Potlet Head that an LE was originally in our grade, but because she awakened as soon as she entered first year and skipped grades, she entered high school early, so she is not actually an older sister. At this moment, an LA's figure suddenly transforms into a golden lightning bolt. Then her entire person passes through me in an instant. Excuse me, does your embrace mean you accept my invitation? With that, an LA explains to me, the Ultimate School Regiment is fully funded by the school. It will provide the best resources. There are many ways to grow stronger faster than just doing school dungeons after class. We share the common goal of becoming stronger. Perhaps we might even have the chance to fight side by side. I listen very patiently to her entire introduction, but I still state I will not join the Ultimate School Regiment. I will not remain at this school much longer. Joining a school organization has no meaning. Having said this much, I actively grasp an Ellie's hand, declaring that I will establish my own legion before long. At that time, there will naturally be opportunities to fight alongside her. At this moment, an Ultimate School Regiment member rushes over anxiously. He informs an Ellie that Captain Hong has returned to school. The principal asks the entire Ultimate School Regiment to go greet him. Hearing this, an LA nods slightly and releases my hand. We will meet again soon on the cultivation journey. At that time, we can talk properly about why you said long time no see. With that, an LE departs with the regiment members to greet Captain Hong. Her departure gives the students new topics for discussion. They did not expect me to directly refuse an LE's invitation, or even invite her to join my legion. They believe that as a minor, I could not possibly have the funds to establish a new legion. Even more outrageous, I just embraced an LE, yet she showed no sign of refusal. The gossip and idle chatter do not move me in the slightest. I never imagined I would meet an LE again in this way. Everyone in the Divine Legion had strictly confidential information. We never inquired about each other's pasts, so I never imagined an LE would be at the same middle school as me. I nearly missed this encounter. However, this counts as an unexpected birthday surprise. After school, I bring Chi Yin and the other two to a barbecue restaurant for dinner. Glasses Guy and Potlet Head seriously discuss how to eat grilled meat for maximum deliciousness. Chi Yin asks me whether establishing a legion is serious. I also said I would not stay here long. Am I planning to leave after middle school? I take a sip of my drink and nod slightly. I truly plan to remain in Shanghai Kingdom after the cultivation journey. This answer greatly shocks all three. They discuss whether I plan to drop out of high school to start a business. I explain I simply want to study there. Therefore, I must gain admission to the academy all students dream of, Shanghai Kingdom's Divine Arms Academy. Meanwhile, at the cabin hotel, a tall, imposing man steps out of a sports car. Deputy Captain Li Ang of the inspection team quickly bows in greeting. This person is Divine Legion Captain Hong Bing. Entering the hotel, dignitaries and nobles can be seen conversing eloquently. However, one person causes a trace of doubt to flash in Liang's eyes. He never expected that Bai Lingsheng, who was supposed to be detained for 15 days, has actually appeared at the banquet scene. Liang immediately pulls Chen Jinwu aside, demanding to know why Bai Lingsheng was released early. Chen Jinwu rubs his fingers together, explaining that Bai Lingsheng paid double bail, and everything was approved by the captain. Deputy Captain, please just turn a blind eye. Hearing this, Li Ang grinds his teeth in anger. He did not expect such a corrupt person beside him. He points at Bai Lingsheng and asks Chen Jinwu why he brought him to Captain Hong's party. Chen Jinwu leans in and says quietly, "You know he was kicked out of the Legion before over just a small matter. This rare opportunity, he wants to fight for another chance. To rejoin the Legion, he brought everything he has. Doing him this small favor is no big deal." As soon as these words finish, the magic crystals in Bai Lingsheng's arms are thrown heavily to the ground. Hong Bing's expression at this moment becomes extremely dark. He harshly demands to know who let Bai Lingsheng in. This venue is exclusively reserved by the Divine Legion. What if an outsider leaks military secrets? Upon hearing this, Bai Lingsheng's hands tremble uncontrollably. His tone anxious, he is about to explain when. Hong Bing grabs him by the collar with one hand. "With what ability, what status do you dare come by rank from me? Take your useless trash and get out. From today forward, no one is permitted to let this dog into the Legion. Anyone who disobeys will be immediately expelled from the Divine Legion." These words pierce through Bai Lingsheng's last remaining hope like a sharp blade, yet he never believes he is even slightly in the wrong. He thinks heaven is unfair to him, not allowing him to live a carefree and comfortable life. Endless rage has made him unable to distinguish right from wrong. He wants to kill everyone who dares look down on him. What right does some mere captain have to humiliate him like this? Those who abandoned and insulted him are the targets of his revenge. Moments later, Bai Lingsheng arrives at the residential complex where my mother and I live. However, at this time, mother has just finished shopping and is walking to the complex entrance. Completely unaware, I am still eating at the barbecue restaurant. A group of people who just entered the restaurant catches my attention. From the emblems they wear, it is not difficult to see. These people are Divine Legion members. Potlet Head also recognizes them, quietly telling me that if I enter Divine Arms Academy, I will be colleagues with these people. With that, he sighs deeply, lamenting that he did not expect this meal to be a farewell dinner. Chi Yin immediately counters that this is not necessarily a farewell dinner. She will also work hard to pass the entrance exam. Glasses Guy immediately eases the atmosphere. Other matters can be discussed later. Today is Bai Yi's birthday. First, let us wish Bai Yi happy birthday and a bright future ahead. But my mind is not at all on their conversation. I suddenly realize today has gone far too smoothly. I feel an inexplicable sense of wrongness, but I truly cannot figure out what I have failed to notice. Meanwhile, mother's hands tremble as she tightly grips the response jade stone at her chest. Her eyes fill with terror as as she watches Bai Lingsheng approach step by step. At this moment, Bai Lingsheng erupts with terrifying, overwhelming, killing intent. "Bitch, living quite comfortably behind my back. Are you? Forgotten where home is, have you?" Upon hearing this, mother keeps retreating. The deep-rooted fear makes her entire body tremble. But with everything going wrong, how could Bai Lingsheng stop here today? A bully who fears the strong, he will only vent his rage on those who never wronged him. Looking at the flower element bracelet on her wrist, he sternly demands to know where these things came from. Upon hearing this, mother instinctively covers the bracelet with her hand. Her eyes become filled with panic, fearing Bai Lingsheng will snatch away the gift her son gave her. But Bai Lingsheng knows nothing of this. He laughs maniacally, mistakenly believing mother has found a new lover, which explains how she can afford such a nice home. The intense sense of defeat completely shatters his remaining self-esteem. He swings his fist, large as a sandbag, and charges at mother. But at this critical moment, the flower element bracelet suddenly bursts with emerald light. Two shadowy figures emerge from within the bracelet, one after another. They firmly catch Bai Lingsheng's incoming heavy punch. The shadows are none other than the nameless brothers who formed contracts with me, sworn to protect mother's safety to the death. Seeing this, mother's face fills with shock. She never imagined the bracelet I gave her is actually a life-saving artifact. No wonder I instructed her that when I am not by her side, she must always keep it on her wrist. At this moment, C.I. Wuming roars and charges forward. His powerful, heavy punches hammer into Bai Lingsheng. Meanwhile, Ye Wuming provides support, continuously healing C.I. Wuming while constantly watching whether Bai Lingsheng will sneak attack mother. After several exchanges, Bai Lingsheng is clearly no match for C.I. Wuming. He quickly retreats several steps to maintain a safe distance. Blood drips continuously from his chest, but Bai Lingsheng feels not the slightest bit of fear. As a red quality lightning warrior, he has not fully immersed himself in combat for a long time. The appearance of C.I. Wuming and Ye Wuming provides perfect targets for him to vent his rage. Meanwhile, I am eating and chatting with Chi Yin and the other two at the barbecue restaurant. I stare at the response jade stone in my hand, falling into thought. Uneasy emotions continuously surge in my heart, so I tell them I have something urgent to attend to and must leave temporarily. I will return soon. The bill for the meat is already paid. They can order whatever they want. Leaving the barbecue restaurant, I go to an alley and call Hong Changsheng, asking whether he is certain Bai Lingsheng was released from prison early. On the other end, Hong Changsheng confirms Bai Lingsheng has been released. He attended his father Hong Bing's banquet today, but was thrown out shortly after. However, after leaving the cabin hotel, no one knows where he went. Hearing this, my expression suddenly grows grave. Several drops of cold sweat run down my cheeks. I hurriedly call mother, but mother's phone cannot connect. Is her phone not with her? The cabin hotel is near the residential complex I rented. If Bai Lingsheng encountered mother there at this time, he definitely will not let it go. With his personality, it is impossible to imagine what foolish things he might do. Thinking this, I hurriedly get on my bicycle and rush home. Although all this is only my speculation, when it concerns mother's safety, not the slightest error can be tolerated. Although I left the Wuming brothers by mother's side, their levels are too low. They may not hold out long. The facts are exactly as I predicted. Bai Lingsheng, fully immersed in battle, defeats C.I. Wuming after several rounds of combat. Seeing this, Ye Wuming quickly shields mother behind him, his eyes fierce as he stares at Bai Lingsheng. But Bai Lingsheng has already seen that his main ability is healing. He can kill him very easily. Then his eyes fill with surprise. He discovers C.I. Wuming, collapsed on the ground, is tightly gripping his leg. Toward beings weaker than himself, Bai Lingsheng maintains zero tolerance. He grabs C.I. Wuming's neck in a death grip. Then he stabs him repeatedly all over with his blade. At this moment, in Bai Lingsheng's eyes, C.I. Wuming is Hong Bing, who made him lose face, a punching bag on which he can freely vent his emotions. The extremely violent and cruel scene fills mother's face with terror. Her body cannot stop trembling. Before long, Bai Lingsheng completely finishes off C.I. Wuming. His fierce gaze locks onto mother. Radiating killing intent, he walks toward her unhurriedly. Ye Wuming knows deeply he is no match. Fear spreads throughout his entire being, but he vowed to protect mother's safety to the death. He will fight to the very last moment. He strides forward, embraces Bai Lingsheng, and activates the skill Entangle. At the same time, he shouts loudly for mother not to look back and to run quickly. This shout makes mother's eyes moisten. I once said these same words. The ultimate purpose is always to keep mother from harm. Mother suppresses her grief, turns and flees. She understands that only by preserving herself can she not betray the nameless brother's sacrificial protection. At this moment, Bai Lingsheng has been wrapped by vines into a sphere. However, an energy continuously expands within the sphere. In just the blink of an eye, Bai Lingsheng completely breaks free. He violently tears off Ye Wuming's limbs. Then, in a flash, he blocks mother's path. Where can you run? Tell me where else you can run. As his words finish, Bai Lingsheng waves his hand and tears off the response jade stone from mother's neck. He roars angrily. Who gave you this jade stone? With that, his palm exerts tremendous force, crushing the response jade stone to powder. Then, like a savage beast, he roars furiously, about to personally pierce mother's chest with the blade in his hand. Witnessing this, mother stands frozen. In her mind, she recalls words I once said to her. When you encounter danger, crush this jade pendant. The instant it shatters, I will appear by your side. The next second, I appear before mother. I catch the incoming blade with my bare hand. This time, I did not break my promise. I arrived in time to prevent tragedy. I will personally end Bai Lingsheng's violence.